Welcome back. I'm going to finish up column right. There's actually 3 videos on column right, so it gives you a little bit different perspectives on how to do the same thing. So we have our column here. We really should change the heading to this, so I'm going to do that first. And we'll go back and get rid of this C here. Okay, nothing exciting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and take the code that I created from the site W3 School. So I'm going to show you how to get to that again. It's actually linked in Canvas. So I want to make sure everything looks good over here. Let's go into code view and see where our navigation system is, which is right over here. So content, so I'm just going to put in here, put in menu here. Go back into live, and it tells me put the menu in here. So that's a simple thing. So I'm going to go into W3 Schools, which I happen to have right over here, and these are how great everything is. But before I do that, I'm just going to click on CSS and see if we can find menu from here. Otherwise, I'll show you how to do it advanced, blah, 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 responsive, grid, examples. It's a little bit challenging because it's buried somewhere into it. So we don't see anything that says menu is exactly what we want, but we have navigation bar. So let's see what we have for navigation bar. And here we have exactly it. Now I do have a link to it, so it's fine. So what we're going to do is we're not going to use this one over here. We're going to use one farther down. Just got to find it. This is not it. I will find it. Horizontal navigation bar. All right, here we go. We finally found it right over here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is click on the try it yourself, and I'm going to copy all of this code. The only code I'm actually going to use is this over here and the unordered list. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the unordered list. Going back into Dreamweaver. And as soon as I find Dreamweaver, all right, there we go. And I'm going to go in here, I'm going into code view, and then I'm going to type it. I happen to have a whole bunch of stuff running. And because I'm recording, it doesn't make it easy for me to switch. So this looks really kind of ugly. And the reason why it looks ugly is because it's nothing more than a list right now, an unordered list. So we go over here, and we can see it's nothing more than an unordered list. There is no class active, and I'm going to get rid of that class active because we're not working on something that's going to highlight the active part anyway. The next thing we need to do is create a new CSS file. You can do it one of two ways. You can go to File and New and choose CSS. So I'm going to do that. Or you can go into the designer and you can add a new source. So we'll just do it that way. So we want to create a new source file. Now the advantage of that is it's going to link it for you. So the first thing we need to do is where do we want it? It's in the CSS. And I'm going to call it project 2 so I don't overwrite my existing project 1. That's there. Actually, take it back. Menu, call it menu 2. And click on OK. Yours is just going to be menu. So that takes care of this, and let's go into code view and see what we have here. And do we have it linked? And by golly, it linked. So that's fine. That takes care of that. So now I'm going to show you a way to rename things without having to be following and messing things up. So let's take this menu. This is what we want for menu. And let's go into files. And let's just take this menu here and let's rename it to menu old. We did not get any questions about updating links because it's not part of the project. So now I'm going to go and click on menu 02 and I'm going to delete the name there. And notice it's got, should I update the links? You need to update the links. So that takes care of that. So we can close menu 2. And here is menu 1. And let's, can't do that, that's the wrong one. Let's go back into the code, which I have to find. And there are easier ways to do this. So we want to find this over here, doc type here. And we want this. All we want is the actual code classes. We do not want anything other than that. My next video, I'm going to make sure that I don't have all these things open. And we'll paste it here. And now let's go back into live view. And now things are changing. But notice what it did here. It messed up our menu system here, down here. And the reason why it messed up the menu system was strictly because now we're affecting everything. So let's go into our menu CSS. And notice that it's an ordered list. It's displaying the information for every unordered list, affecting every unordered list. So the first thing we need to do is change this. So we have in here a nav top unordered list. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put a nav top and see what changes. Okay, now we're doing things that's affecting only the nav top. So we need to do this for each one. All right, so now this is back and this is over here. The thing that I don't like about this is strictly because it's too small. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some things in the CSS Designer and we're going to make it a little bit nicer. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Live View. And let's just make the size of these things a little bit different. So I will choose to create a new rule. In here, let's go into our CSS Designer. And where it's being affected here is in the menu, the LI. So what I want to do in the LI is set a width. If I click on show set, basically it has only the float in here. Let's get rid of this and let's set the width in pixels and let's just make it 200 pixels. You could do a percentage as well. So we're going to do both. So we have the 200 pixels over here, and that looks okay. In here, boom, 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 boom. It's a little bit small. So why don't we change the text? The font size is here. And let's change it to 1.2M. And again, we can change it a little bit if we want to make it bigger. We could also make it bold. So let's find font weight, which is here. Make it bold. Okay, so it's not real bold, but it's bold. So that takes care of all this stuff over here, and we don't really need to set anything up. Notice if I click on text decoration, it puts underlines there. So that's a matter of taste on how you want to do that. So now we have something that it gets a little bit darker here when you put your mouse over it. So let's go in and look and see why. We're going to go into over here. We have knob top. This is what the things that we just did. Display block, and I'm going to explain all that stuff in this. Now we have something called Hoover, and that changed the background color to this color over here. So let's remember 111, and let's just change it to random 688, whatever color that happens to be. Go back into live, and now notice how easy it is to change the color of the background. Go back into code, and we'll change it back to 111. Now notice every time I do something, I go back and test it. So that takes care of this. Now this is a matter of preference. Let me show you another thing that you can do. You can change the background and the foreground to something different if you want. So let's go back into our CSS designer, and we need to remember 111, and we have the Hoover here. So I'm going to click on show set. Notice that it changes the background color in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the background color and the foreground color when things change. So I'm going to change the background color to, let's see. Actually, let's go back into our CSS code and see what we have in here. Okay, color is white. In here, background. So we're going to change the background color to white and then the foreground color to this. Okay, so that makes things fairly easy. So let's just change this to background color will be white. Now we need to change the text to 111. And I'll just type in this here. And that did not do very well. It's not cooperating right now for me, so we have background color. It actually did change. So I'm not really sure why my computer is not responding. And finally decided to give me control back again. So notice that it's changed in here. Okay, let's move this over here. So again, this is a matter of preference as to what you want to do in here. So I'm going to leave it for here. You can make your decision on what you want to do. So now we need to go back into the menu CSS code, and we need to add a few things. So what you always want to do is you want to have a Hoover, you want to have an active, you want to have a visited, and you want to have a link. So I'm going to create those right now. And we have this over here. So I'm just going to copy this and then change it what I need to. So the first thing needs to be is link. And it needs to be love, hate. So it's link, Hoover, or link, visited, Hoover, and active. So let's just choose visited. That's why I always go love, hate, because I can never remember manually. All right, and then active. Okay, so that's very simple. So now everything is going to be the same. So we need to go back and fix exactly what we want. So we want the color and the background to be the way it was before. Well, we have a problem. I don't remember what it was. That's why you always, always, always want to have stuff saved for you so it's readily accessible. I remember the 111, but I don't remember anything else. So let's go back in here and change and go back and find the code that we had here, which happens to be in this here. And here's our background color is 111. So let's copy the background color 111. And notice our color is white. So what we're going to do is we want everything to be color white and background color 111. So let's go back to the wacky world of Dreamweaver. And let's just change all the things that we need to have here. So background color here, and we'll just do color. And white is FFF. And let's see what we have here now. Okay, so now we have kind of what we have, but it's there. So let's go back into code, and we're going to do the same thing for all of them. The only thing we want changed is the Hoover. Actually, what I'm going to do here, let me change this to FFF, just so you see what active looks like. All right, so I have it over here. Everything looks good. Notice when I click, it changes to blue. That's active. So we just change this back to 000. Now, 000000 is identical to 000. That's called shortcut. So you can check that out on your own. So now we have the menu system here working on the left. It looks pretty nice. You can change that, and you can put a border right on it. So you can make it look a little bit nicer, but just bear one thing in mind. If you have the border right, you're going to have it on this as well, but there's a way to work around that. I will show you that in the menu video itself. So now we have things looking pretty good. What I want to do is get some text and copy that over. I'm copying that from somewhere else, and I'm going to do it in code view. So I'm copying from somewhere else, so give me a second to get it. That takes care of this. I'm going to go and create a p tag in here, and I'm going to paste the text in here. Do it in code view. I just prefer code view. You can work in whatever you want. So let's see what we have here. So we have a whole bunch of text in here. It looks kind of ugly in here. So we have stuff that's duplicated twice. So let's find some place and put a p tag in there. Hello world. Let's get rid of hello world. And the second largest. So what we want to do is we want to find the second largest. So let's just go edit. And there's also a find in here. So you can do edit and find, or you should be able to hit Control F. So let's go Control F. And let's find the thing in here. So the world is a planet, blah, 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 in terms over here. So we have it in here. So what I want to do here is, because we're in code view, let's go to live view and hit the enter key. And see if that did anything. Let's go into design view and do it. And the world is a planet. Okay, so we have it here. Let's hit the enter key, and boom, that looks a little better. Now you're seeing one of the reasons why I like to work in design view more than I like to work in code view, because a lot of times you have to hit something twice to get it to work. So again, it's all up to you how you want to do it. So I have a whole bunch of text in here. It's all in the first section in here. Let's go into code view. So we have section and a section. So now you could create a section in here that affects the top as well as the bottom. So what I'm going to do here is copy and paste everything here. So we have duplicate of the same section. And I'm going to call this section top ID. And section bottom. That gives me the flexibility of changing things and not affecting other areas. So let's give you an example of that real quick. And then we'll end this video, and I will continue with another one. We're going to put some images in, and we're going to format the images. So if I were to change the P tag of section, so let's go in here. Let's click in P. Let's create in the project. Let's go and create a selector, and notice that it's P, but let's just not do the section top. Let's just do main section. And let's change the color to something different, something crazy. Okay, notice it changed everything in here. And we did that demonstration before. So that's where you want to be specific to what you're actually naming it. So let's just rename this here. And let's just call it section. And we'll do the main. We can do the column container. And I think what we're going to do is just not use this at all. I'm going to delete this and redo it. And let's do it correctly. So that changed that back here. So now what I want to do is I want to do section top P. That's going to affect only the section top P. So by now, I'm hoping you're grasping the concept as to why you might go to all of those issues in here. So we also have a section left top. So you can see all these different things can be used to format exactly the way you want it. And then you can change the name of these things, and it will affect only what you want it to affect it. So let's just change the color of the text here to green. Obviously, we don't want to do green, but boom. So now it's still affecting everything. So now we need to find out why. And let's go back in here. And we say, oh, it's only affecting this because this is in section top and this is in section top, but this is not affected in there. So That's all for this video. So what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to do a little bit more formatting. We're going to put some pictures in, and then we're going to do the rest we're going to do on the menu system. So have a great day.